Hey, shalom everyone. This isツァルファティ, and I wanted to give you a very important update on two specific things that are quite amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for you guys to connect and to press the share button. This is maybe a revelation to some of you, but you have no idea how powerful you can be by spreading the message. And just click the share button, okay? So again, let me see where you guys are from. I am reading the chat here to see if you can write where you guys are from. It would be very helpful. So I see people from New Mexico in America, some more people watching from Cape Town, from South Africa. I see people that are writing from South Africa, some more people from South Africa. Where else? Florida is in the house. Hello there. Ethiopia. Wow. People from Ethiopia. Okay, so as you can see, the only quiet place in my house is the bomb shelter. What you can see here can tell you I'm in the bomb shelter. And two important things, super important things that you need to be aware of. So the first one is that we just cut all humanitarian aid to Gaza, but the Trump administration, in full coordination with the Trump administration, we are about to cut water and electricity. Can you imagine? We provide water and electricity to Gaza, to the people that fight us, rape us, kill us, burn us, and hold our hostages. We're about to go up to that step, and if that's not going to work and they're not going to agree to a new deal in which we demand half of the hostages on the first day and the other half in 45 days from now, if they're not going to agree to accept that one, Israel has approved a few hours ago the mobilization of 400,000 reserve soldiers. It's the largest mobilization of reserve soldiers in the history of the country. We are preparing for something bigger than what we did following October 7th. So again, we're giving Hamas a chance. First, we stop the humanitarian aid. Next, in the next day, we're going to cut water and electricity. And next, if that's not going to work, full-blown attack. Now, how do I know that? First, of course, the government approved this unprecedented number of reserve soldiers. Second, on Wednesday, a new commander to the Israeli military is going to be taking his office. He already, days before he is assuming office, he asked to see the plans. And he already said, no, these are not good enough. Go back to the drawing board. Give me something much stronger than this. This is a very unique time in history where Israel is less enthusiastic to destroy its enemies than America. In other words, we have an administration that is far more militant in his approach to Hamas than our own government. And if you're asking me why, it's because Trump needs to save us from ourselves. The left, progressive, liberals, backed by the media, is going nuts. They want all the hostages now, like babies. They don't understand that that's not how it works. Hamas, the only reason why Hamas agreed to the latest deal is because Hezbollah is gone and Iran is crushed. That's why. So otherwise, I mean, they said no and no and no and no. You can't just cause them to release our hostages just because you ask them to or demand them to. You have to make them say yes by pressure. And if stopping humanitarian aid is not... By the way, Gaza received in the last 44 days more than 200,000 truckloads of food and supply. More than any other place on planet Earth. They have more food and more medication than they will need for the next 6 months. Okay? The media is fooling you. They're talking about famine. They're saying we're worried. Listen to me. First of all, international law justifies stopping humanitarian aid if you know that it goes to your enemy within your, the enemy's territory. But second, which is more important, Israel knows that the only thing that kept Hamas alive until now is the humanitarian aid. And so what I'm trying to say is we are stopping it. We're going to cut water. We're going to cut electricity. And with a new commander, a far better, anything can be better than what we had. We are going to strike harder than you can. Remember the gates of hell? Remember we talked about hell? All hell will break out. All of these things are about to come. So this is the first thing I wanted to update you about. Again, the ceasefire deal, original deal, had 2 phases. Phase 1, completed. We've got our 33 Israeli hostages and 5 Thai hostages back alive. And we've got 8 more bodies, including, unfortunately, of Shiri, Ariel, and Kfir Bibas. But now, phase 2 is, of course, not feasible because we're not going to allow Hamas to stay in power. So what's going to happen is Israel offered, actually the Trump administration offered a new deal that will extend the ceasefire for 42 more or 45 more days. And on the first day, they need to give us half of the living and the dead hostages, which means 12 living hostages and 18 dead hostages. And on the very last day, if everything works well, the remaining ones. Hamas doesn't want. And guess who supports Hamas? Egypt and Qatar. I don't know who calls them mediators. They're not mediators. They're fully backing Hamas. Just so you understand, Hamas is fully backed, supported, energized, and even guided by Egypt and Qatar. So, Israel approved the largest number of reserve soldiers to be mobilized within the next few weeks. 400,000. Just so you understand, when October 7th took place, it was only 320,000. Now we're talking about 400,000. Unprecedented. That's the first thing I wanted to update you about. The second thing I wanted to update you about is Syria. Israel is drawing new lines. Within the last 48 hours, Israel not only threatened, but actually acted against the current regime that is basically made of Al-Qaeda and its local branch, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS. And Israel made it very clear. A, south of Damascus, you cannot be. B, don't ever touch the Druze. They're our allies, and if you do something to them, we will come and help them militarily. And so Israel is also running a pilot program. We're providing work for the Druze to replace the Palestinians, which we don't want to have anything to do with them anymore, with these demons. But Israel is also sending, gladly, may I say, humanitarian aid to the Druze in southern Syria. We're creating an alliance. We're creating a new reality where southern Syria, may I add, the Sweda governorate, is going to become an independent county comprised of mostly Christian and mostly Druze and Christians. It will be the only entity in the Middle East that is not, besides Israel, that is not mostly Muslim. Israel is building a new line of defense, not just by our own outposts that we are now building, but creating a buffer that will be manned and populated by our allies. And so unprecedented things are happening before our very eyes. Things that look, this is the first time in our history as a modern state that I'm going to bring tourists all the way to Mount Hermon and show them the entire mountain and tell them everything is now controlled by Israel. I used to bring them to Mount Hermon. I used to show them, you see, this one is the Israeli side. That higher position is the Syrian side. No more. Israel controlled all of Mount Hermon. I used to bring tourists to see the Golan Heights, to look at where Syria is. It's no longer Syria. Most of the buffer area is now in Israeli control. And Israel declared that it has to remain demilitarized. And when the Jolani, the leader, the regime, started sending troops, we shot, we attacked, and they turned around and ran away. We're setting new rules, new boundaries, new borders, new reality. So there's a new reality in Gaza, and there's a new reality on the Syrian border, and there's also a new reality with Lebanon. We have 5 positions within Lebanon, and we're shooting almost every day every single suspicious movement of Hezbollah. And Hezbollah is not even responding. And may I add, more and more and more Lebanese politicians and media personalities are saying the P word. You know, we are not supposed to say the F word or the S word. The P word, peace, was not supposed to be used by Lebanese. And now they're saying we need to have peace with Israel. We cannot fight the Israelis. It only brings problems, destruction, pain, misery, and death upon us. That's what they say. And I will also add that the Syrian regime instructed, the new Syrian regime instructed the media in Syria not to call Israel enemy anymore. On all official Syrian broadcast, it's Israel now. It's not the Zionist enemy or the Zionist occupation. Having said that, what I want you to understand, and please, by the way, please share this. People, you don't have a clue how much your liking, commenting, following, and sharing makes all the difference in the world. And the last thing I want to say, as I said, is all of this is part of a huge plan of President Trump to disconnect Russia from the Iranian-Chinese axis and to build a new reality in the Middle East where there will be Abraham Accord with also Syria and Lebanon, believe it or not. I know it sounds unrealistic, it sounds almost bizarre, it sounds who would imagine? But remember, Ezekiel 38 does not mention Lebanon and Syria as the enemies that come against us. Very interesting, isn't it? So everything we see, including the Ukraine-Russia and the Ukraine-American crisis, it all has to do and connected very, very tightly to the grand plan of adding to the Abraham Accord Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Syria, and Lebanon. And by doing so, completely destroying the Iranian axis of evil. Phenomenal. Remember what Jonah said? 40 days and Nineveh will be overthrown. I'm telling you, 40 days and Gaza and Hamas will be overthrown. And I'm not sure the response of the Gazans will be as the one of the people of Nineveh. I'm pretty sure it will not be repentance. The Gazans are fully backing Hamas. Many of them are holding some of our hostages, and they will not give it to us. You know, even in Nazi Germany, there were Germans that did not collaborate with the Nazis, and they actually kept Jews. And they actually helped Jews. Not in Gaza. No one. All are not innocent. All collaborate, admire, love, and endear Hamas. Indeed, there is no other way but to send them to another place where they will no longer pose an existential threat on southern Israel, and their murderous intention will not provide another October 7th. Please share this message with as many people as you can. Like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share. Share, share, share. Thank you and God bless.